full trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is hitting the internet. The anticipated animated sequel follows Miles, Morales, and Gwen Stacy as they work to save every spider being in the multiverse. We got your drive on 57 in just a moment. This is prime temperatures. The sun is out all day long. It's the spring. Look at that big, beautiful ball of fire. When I moved into, oh my gosh, that was exactly 7 years ago. I moved into my house. The first thing we did with those solar mats, we did all the research and they came out on top. Not only did they build us a custom solar system with the most innovative technology, they are right there, right off the freeway in Riverside, super local. And it means something because they can provide you the highest quality solar panels, inverters, and battery systems in the industry, hands down. Right now, you're getting more electrical production in the spring, so stay big, call SolarMax, get a 12-panel system for $0 down, $59.99 a month, the most powerful solar panels on the market. Plus, you want to lock in those NEM 2.0 benefits by next week. They expire on April 13th. So call SolarMax, start saving money this spring on their 12-panel system for $0 down, $59.99 a month. Now, pound 250 from your cell phone, take it to SolarMax, pound 250, SolarMax, or go to SolarMaxTech.com. Monthly payment available for true prices are quite. Let's get over your drive on the 57. What's done on your watch? The pretty package drive overall out of Riverside from Old Magnolia, continuing through Anaheim Hills for the 55. We got a massive slowdown for you on the 15 northbound. Going to be before those longer for Wyrick is a wreck that had 4 cars involved. Couple lanes were taken away, but everything's just a center divider now. You're still seeing a massive slowdown from almost as far back as in the Inside Trail. So if I'm the guy who's keeping it faster, I'm just calling you. This report is sponsored by GiveMeTheVin.com. So I'm bullish on these cars right now. Go to my website, GiveMeTheVin.com, and you will get a great experience. They don't call us America's Best Car Buyers in that At Southern California Edison, TRUMAN insulated power lines and using the latest technology to help keep our community safe from wildfire. Learn more at SCE.com/motivation. It's the marketing report. Today, Capital One's chief brand officer, Mark Vickery, really on building loyalty with customers. Capital One has really worked to create amazing access moments for our customers. We open up down-check parties so that only Capital One cardholders can get access to, and you can't pull that off without iHeart. The number one audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audience's insights and data using to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResult.com. How much do you think your home is worth this year? Do you think it's going to be worth the same next year? If you're thinking about borrowing on your home equity, your odds of getting more out of your home is probably higher now than it will be next year. I certainly believe that. Some experts predict that property values might decline over the next few years, making it more challenging for borrowers to tap into that home equity. If you need $75,000 or more, HMS Capital can help you borrow the money you need with the equity you save. So whether you want to consolidate debt, make home improvements, or whatever your situation may be, HMS Capital, they have the best solution to help you. They are simply the best for what they do. Call 833-255-5698, 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com. He doesn't think off the top of his head spontaneously in any day. Early on when he was running for president, remember he had that meltdown with the guy in the audience? He said, yeah, that's what I knew he was early losing. He can't be out amongst the public. He will have temper tantrums and blow up and act crazy. John and Ken. So look how respectful the media is towards it. Live 1 to 4 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. Everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Former President Trump getting the motorcade on its way to arraignment at the courthouse in Manhattan. Expected to take place sometime in the next hour or so. It'll be a quick court appearance. You'll hear the charges. His Fingerprints will be taken, and his attorneys have already said that they will respond immediately. They can plead not guilty, and then this thing will be drugged out for maybe a year. When prosecutors turn over all their evidence, his attorneys play through it. There'll be delays after pushes and pushes, and maybe a year. And this is what we're going to way through the slow wheels of justice, the real possibility. Can you imagine if he was in trial a year, during the election?
A year from now. Could be in the midst of
it could be longer than a year, yeah, exactly.
A suicide note, weapons, and more ammunition belonging to the Nashville school shooter was found by officers conducting a search warrant at her home yesterday. Metro Nashville Police Department released a list of 47 items they found that belonged to her, including several journals, a shotgun, cell phones, and laptops. They also found a school photo from Covenant School, where she attended. She shot and saved 6 people last Monday, including 3 kids. Finland's flag was raised this afternoon at NATO headquarters, a deeply symbolic moment that marks the nation's official welcome into NATO and the shifting power calculations that Russia now has to deal with. The president of Finland, Sauli Niinisto, attended the ceremony on the NATO's 74th anniversary, will note here, a defeat basically for President Putin of Russia, who said that there will be some sort of retribution. Voters in LA City, by the way, LA City District number 6 specifically, headed to the polls today to choose a replacement for former City Council President Marie Martinez. Can you name any of the candidates?
No.
Oh! Antoinette Scully, Isaac Kim, Rose Gregorian, Douglas Sierra, Marco Santana, Nova Padilla, and Marisa Alcaraz. This is nonpartisan, as always, but in the city of Los Angeles, everyone is a Democrat. So the only people where Rose Gregorian's voter registration is technically no party preference, but everybody else is Democrat. If no candidate gets 50%, they go to a runoff. The top 2 go to a runoff.
Well, the LA County Board of Supervisors came up with a great idea, at least a couple of them did. The Democrats, before that, told the police, added a motion to the public meeting this week to depopulate and decarcerate the LA County jails. We're talking about releasing individuals who have been sentenced to jail for misdemeanors and felonies who can be safely released back into the community. They said it would apply to criminals with less than a $50,000 bond. Do you know what you need to do to have a bond reach the level of $50,000? We're talking about domestic violence, convict, robbery, assault with a firearm.
You gotta hurt somebody.
You gotta hurt somebody. And they think that these people can be safely released back into the community. You're going to let out a guy who threatened to kill his wife repeatedly and beat her up repeatedly. You think that he can be released safely back into the community? Someone who assault with a firearm, and you know, it should be said. And I'm not going to get into all the guns today. But these are the same people who are saying fewer and fewer people should get their hands on a gun. More and more rules.
Same for yourself, but without a gun.
Right. And then here are these people who have proven to you that they have guns illegally and will use them in an act of violence, and you want them to be free.
Now,
how does that work?
The whole motion by police in Horvath had said that they want to, I'm going to find the statement. This is one of those things that Hilda Police has to be careful about wishing for what she wishes for. How's that? He said, I've offered a motion that calls on the County of LA to utilize its complete authority in advocating for support and reform from our state judicial partners to ensure that we are truly a jail-last county, right? That we need. And to simply close down Men's Central, Twin Towers, any other sort of actual jail facility doesn't fix the problem. Just closing the jail does not fix the problem. You've got to have the mechanisms in place to handle it before you
the front end. The front end.
Right.
You've got to deter people away from life, enabling them to get out on the streets and do drugs in open air and not remove them until you can't do it here is helping that. front-end solution become a reality.
One of the concerns yesterday when we found out about this late Sunday, it was going to be on this morning's agenda, was that no one talks to law enforcement agencies, no one talks to law enforcement stakeholders, to use a stupid term, about what this was going to do for law enforcement officers. So Elder Shalice told this thing. She said she wants to make sure that they do refer to all of the stakeholders and have input from stakeholders.
Can I just say back to my point about guns and letting people out? Under this umbrella, people that have been put away with a $50,000 bond are people who have committed assault with a firearm and convicted of it. It was just last month when the same supervisors who proposed this, Nancy Horvath and Hilda Solis, came out with gun safety legislation, talked about the gun violence epidemic, talked about we need to take action at the county level to protect lives. And they're going to let guys out of jail who have been assaulting people with firearms in the county?
Well, they're nice guys, so probably wouldn't engage in any other illegal activity once they've been justification.
Also under this umbrella is the guy who plowed into that street carnival back in November, hit people and kept driving. Usually under the umbrella of the Norway State Police.
Well,
these people have no strength.
It's not, I don't even know if it's that they have
strength. There's a concept too. You cannot say that you're down with releasing people who have used firearms for crime on one hand, and on the other hand, say this is a county that's going to support gun safety legislation. Those two do not live in the same world.
And where do they think these people are going to go? They're going to go right back to the same neighborhood from when they committed the crime, and then go back and continue heroin. That's the part. All right. The story about expulsions, right? We in California don't expel very many students, or do we? Or we find a new way to get kicked out of school without paying.
Doesn't this remind you of the sex abuse at the Catholic Church with the shuffling of priests in different parishes and not saying what they did wrong, just removing them from one and putting on another? Yeah.
Gary Sanders will continue in just a moment. Sam Remarks is live in the KFI 24-hour news.
Former President Trump has arrived at the courthouse in Manhattan where he was indicted for hush money paid for foreign actors before the 2016 election. He will be arrested and probably photographed before his arraignment. Attorney Joe Sacapino says Trump will plead not guilty.
That's the one thing I can guarantee. I don't think the state is going to do it in no way on papers. I think there's a legal count that will be made and should be made successful.
Trump plans to return to Florida after his court appearance is expected to speak later today from Mar-a-Lago. Many car companies have seen sales go up. A report from J.D. Power LMC Automotive says new car sales for late March were projected to reach 1.33 million units, which is a 6.2% increase from last March. ABC's Alexis Christopher says this is good news after a rough couple of years. Supply chains are bouncing back after the pandemic, which means there are more cars and trucks in dealerships. GM, Honda, Hyundai, and Nissan among those posting strong sales to start the year. With the exception of Toyota, which is still battling with a first shortage. Heavy snow in the Midwest is taking another life. Here in SoCal, many of us watch the Eagle Fan in Big Bear every year to see the Eagles that are had. People in Minnesota do the same thing. The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources also has an Eagle Fan, but watchers were heartbroken over the weekend when the nature live stream captured the moment when strong winds from a severe storm whipped an eagle's nest out of the tree and killed the newly hatched eaglet. State officials said the nest probably fell because the recent heavy snowdrift became too much for the branch to handle. Jennifer Jones Lee, KFI News. Finland is officially the 31st member of NATO. All NATO members must unanimously approve any newcomers, but Turkey has been blocking Finland's bid, using the Nordic nation of harboring Kurdish militants. Both Finland and Sweden announced their intention to join the military alliance last May. ABC's Inez Gillis-Lacars says Turkey is still blocking Sweden's effort. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says Finland's membership will be good for Finland and security, for Nordic security, and for NATO as a whole. Finland shares more than 800 miles of border with Russia, so its entry into NATO Well, more than double the size of NATO's Porto this website. Southland weather from KFI, sunny and breezy, highs low to mid-60s for Metro LA and the San Gabriel Valley, upper 50s to mid-60s in the San Fernando Valley, mid-40s to mid-50s in the Antelope Valley, 60s for inland Orange County, upper 50s to low 60s in the inland Empire. Right now, 50s in Riverside.
It was on the eastern side of the 91 near Tyler, and everything's off on the right shoulder. Now you're still seeing a busy side as you make your eastbound along the 91 from the Fort Lock here. West on 91, not too crazy bad for you. The morning drive kind of wrapping up heading into the midday. You'll see some patch noise from Magnolia to Riverside as Maker Street corner beyond the 15th. Sort of a surface color, it does look like you have another pond being cleared from lanes there. A pretty sharp traffic and no left lane. Still seeing a rough Silver drive on the northbound side of the 15 inches, coming almost as far back as West Arch North. Definitely from well before any step down, and you know, from the 15 to the Mexico Valley area. I'll be quick going to refer to as long as the wire. Senator Ryder activity for an early forecast snapshot. If I'm the sky, I'll see their faster. I'm the calling team. Great partners make each other better. They show us what's possible beyond ourselves. At Health Medicine of USC, being partners is more than just a goal. It's who we are. We are committed to offering you the personalized health care you need. With deep expertise and dedication, we'll work with you to reach your potential. Because the next great partnership is you and care. Together, we are limitless. Americans pay about $5 billion a year to control termites and repair the damage. More than floods, earthquakes, hurricanes combined. Call Pacific Coast Termites at 800 Pacific for a free home inspection. Certain restrictions apply. No fencing ever. Call 800 Pacific. 800 Pacific. Visit PacificCoastTermites.com. Call 800 Pacific. The green, friendly way. Many Californians are going solar now to take advantage of government incentives. If you are planning to install solar, don't forget basic steps like getting multiple bids and only working with licensed contractors. Go to TALSSA.org for more tips to protect your solar investment. You still don't have a car? I've been waiting forever for the prices to drop. The wait's over at Roto.com. No way. It's real. At Roto, they have a ton of deals on cars. Show me that ride. I'll call you back. Find a new or pre-owned car on your street at any time on any device in just a few clicks. And at a great price by downloading the Roto app or check out Roto.com. Are you feeling the stress of a car accident? Let Jacoby and Meyer fix the wheel and steer you towards the compensation you deserve. 93% of crash victims who use the lawyer said they'd do it again. And with Jacoby and Myers, you get the best of both worlds. Our legal expertise and a hassle-free experience. Don't just take our word for it. See for yourself what over 50 years of experience can do for you. Call Jacoby and Myers. Justice for you since 1972. Losing air conditioning on a hot summer day can be a pretty old nightmare, and no one wants that bad. Your air conditioner lasts longer and reduce breakdowns with a rejuvenation. We'll make 6 critical adjustments so you'll stay cool, use less energy, and increase the life of your system. We'll clean the outdoor coils the right way, not the easy way. Rejuvenation, just $429. Gale Air Conditioning Appointment. You'll need PPL.com. We'll keep it cool, but it's hard to sell. Right, number 1047-781. I've been a small business person my entire adult life, and over the years, several HR issues I got noticed. I could never afford an HR person. But there's an answer, Bambi.com. And with Bambi, you get an HR person starting at $99 per month. And I thought that's too good to be true. This is real. Bambi helps you deal with your HR problems, like writing HR policies, sexual harassment training, hostile work environment, terminations. That was my problem. People complaining about other employees, all putting you and your business at risk. With Bambi, you get access to your own dedicated HR manager available by phone, email, real-time chat. Go to Bambi.com, type in KFI under the radio drop-down when you sign up. Bambi.com, that's KFI under the radio drop-down. I want the credit, please. Spell BAM, B-E-E, that's BAM, B-E-E, that's Bambi.com. If you've been injured in a car accident, call Town Wall from your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan. not wearing deodorant.
It was a slight oversight.
Well, we all appreciate the warning, for sure. Gary Shannon, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app on a Tuesday. It's April 4th. Of course, we are keeping an eye now on the criminal court building there in Manhattan. Former President Trump is in that building. He is now technically believed under arrest and awaiting arraignment. It's scheduled to take place about 45 minutes now, 40 minutes or so from now. And whatever information we get, we will definitely bring it to you. There's more cops and media out there than anybody that's protesting, at least around the criminal court. So we know that the arraignment proceeding itself is relatively short. We don't yet know if there's any expectations to say anything afterwards. We do know that there is a VA press conference scheduled for 12:30 today, our time, from Alvin Bragg, and then former President Trump will make his way back to Mar-a-Lago. He is expected to hold make a statement, hold a news conference, however you want to say it, later this evening about 5:15 our time. And that could be impacted by a judge issuing a gag order in this case. You don't know if that's the thing that they're even looking at.
He did go in for a secure side entrance. It's not a big spectacle there. There's nothing to see there, folks, at least at this point, which is why he wants to hold this availability, this rally at Mar-a-Lago tonight. He hasn't been completely silent, however. He went on Truth Social. He called the Manhattan courthouse a very unfair venue with some areas that voted 1% Republican. He continued his attacks on the judge in this case, claiming he and his family are well-known Trump haters. Again, the only former president ever to be arraigned on criminal charges as we speak.
There was an end to a week-long case out of Maryland yesterday. The fugitive former aide to former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan was shot and killed in a confrontation with federal authorities. A guy named Roy McGrath had been on the run for 3 weeks. And he left, he took off before he was supposed to go on trial for wire fraud, embezzlement, misconduct in office, improper use of state funds, and he just disappeared. Well, they got a tip, FBI did, that he was somewhere near Knoxville, Tennessee yesterday. An agent was, at this point, we know at least one agent shot at McGrath, and he was killed during this confrontation, but according to his attorney and federal authorities, they have not yet said if he shot himself or if it was the FBI that took him out.
There was an investigation by the Hessinger Report, which is a nonprofit education newsroom, and it found that there is a large yet hidden share of California's exclusionary discipline that blocks students from attending their schools and pushes them onto new campuses or in a smaller alternative schools. And some say that they're just taking their problems with them to another campus, and nobody's really disclosing exactly what those problems are. Now, it's just vague data when kids are shuffled from school to school.
Yeah, and in the event, I mean, this is almost a shadow of what we were talking about a second ago, like incarceration, depopulation of the county jails. If you don't deal with the immediate problem, or if you don't have an alternate setup before you start depopulating the jail, you're going to have an absolute mess on your hands. In this case, it's somewhat similar, in my mind, because if you don't have a good system to help somebody deal with the problems that got them in trouble in the first place, the problems are only going to continue. And if you don't have, for example, a file that follows a student who's been told, you can't go to that high school, but you can go to these other two, you get to choose whichever one you go to.
It just seems like it's a shell game with problematic behavior. Policies that require California school districts to report the number of students transferred. There are policies that require this to happen, but the Department of Education's overlapping and vague reporting requirements mean it's unclear why a student changed schools. They say that they're trying to provide statewide data about transfers because the database would mean that it contains information, identifying information about students, and that is not okay either. It's like this patchwork quilt of laws about what you can do and what you can't do. And it would make me troubled if that had been cool. and the kids transferring in, and you don't know what they got kicked out of their last school for. If they're going to bring that same set of problems on your kids' campus.
Do you did you guys have an alternative high school?
Yeah.
So I did too.
It's called North Moraine.
We had San Antonio. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, well, that's literally on my street. That school is, 10, 12 blocks away, but it's on my street. How great would it be? I just walked 10 blocks to go to high school. That'd be awesome. Not knowing what alternative high school was or what it meant or who was there.
I always thought it was funny because our alternative high school was right around the corner from the high school. So there was no separation.
Right.
The kids that got kicked out of my high school, public high school, which you had to go back. Yeah. They would go around the corner and then at lunch meet up with their friends, and there was never really a separation there. It was like pretending we're removing the problem kids, but you're not really. They're still all commingling with whoever they used to hang out with.
Well, in those alternative schools, and oftentimes it sounds like ours were similar in that there were smaller campuses, much smaller student enrollment because it was a behavioral. Many times it was a behavioral issue that would get them there, or academic issues that would get them there, the support that they would need.
I never understood it because usually with the people I knew that ended up there, it was drugs, getting caught with drugs on campus, or truancy issues, and I always thought it was counterproductive to throw all the problem kids together. That's just going to exacerbate the problem.
Well, that's one of the arguments against the juvenile justice facilities.
Right.
Is that all you're doing is taking
you're building connections.
You're building the connections, and you're turning it into a trade school for how to, you're learning new criminal trade craft.
Exactly.
From the other guy.
Right.
Although the other guy got caught, so maybe they're not great.
I would rather send my troubled children to the Gary Hoffman school.
I don't think that school is going to
No?
No.
But you know what I mean? I'd want like a RA type of mentality of somebody who's on the HOA. Somebody who has his kids fill out a 19-point contract. If my kid was really screwing up, I'd send them to a place like that.
Yeah, awful lunches like that.
Really?
Yeah.
The old bologna?
It's the old bologna and mayonnaise, American cheese, and sweet pepperoni on white bread.
Yum.
Let's get white.
All right, let's talk about your new drug problem, shall we? Gary Hoffman started taking pills this week, and I'm concerned because I've seen a difference in his behavior.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this morning when you dropped all your papers. Never do that.
So maybe the pills are affecting my motor.
We'll talk about it.
Deborah Marcus live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Thank you for hearing former President Trump is at the courthouse in Manhattan. He was ruling on charges related to 6 money paid to a court after 2016. The LAPD says it's on the lookout for 2 guys suspected of killing 2 other men during an argument in Hollywood. Witnesses told police all 4 men were part of the same group, and early Sunday morning during the argument, at least one of the guys pulled out a handgun and opened fire. Those were not legally allowed to have them. Southland weather from KFI, sunny and breezy, highs in mid-40s, mid-60s. This report brought to you by the Southern California Association of Governments. From the Southern California Toyota dealer Traffic Center, let's go places. We're going to the 405 and 40.
That's actually right to show right on the northbound Frenchtown Boulevard. You want to take noise by a wreck involving the car and the pickup, and that's where I'm going to drive for you. Heading northbound on the 405 from before the 110. Now let's take it back to almost Avalon Boulevard. Before all of that, though, still a rough go for you from the Long Beach. 605. As you continue past the 710, looks like a little closer to about Alameda. Just before Wilmington Avenue, there's some maybe housing work heading through the area. If you have an update, how to position yourself on keyword is KFI traffic. KFI News title to step faster. I'm Nick Collins. This report is sponsored by GiveMeTheVin.com. GiveMeTheVin.com is paying top dollar for your card, sports card, exotic, and sold buyers. Let's get them spot. Right now is the time to go. Driveway, the game deck, an overgrown and unusable outdoor space. Let System Pavers destroy a point. This month, System Pavers will demolish, dig up, and haul away your dated, neglected concrete or asphalt for free. And will replace them with the outdoor space of your dreams. Dramatic paver driveway, built-in fire, stunning outdoor kitchen, share-worthy patios, and more. For 30 years, System Pavers has helped more than 30,000 homeowners transform their homes. time to get inspired. That's 800-PAY-004 or systempaper.com. All orders must be placed by April 30th. Financing subject to credit approval. See website for offer and financing details. Contractor's license 661575. Help identify SoCal's future needs. Visit connectsocal.org and learn how you can contribute to the Southern California Association of Government Connect SoCal 2024, our region's long-range visioning plan. Global Chief Marketing Officer, Direct to Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust. Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent. As the #1 audio company, iHeart Media gives marketers access to the audiences, conversations, trusted influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. Go to iHeartResults.com for more. Hey, it's Steve. Get what you've always wanted from your home. Safe and delicious drinking water from every tap. A Light Source whole house water system removes 99% of chlorine and other contaminants with delicious water and softer cleaning air. No maintenance, no salt. And now on a food credit, own a Light Source system for as low as $75 a month. Call Light Source today at 800-803-2696, 800-803-2696, or visit lightsourcelife.com. Are you suffering from back pain, pain in your legs and feet? Do you suffer from leg cramping, pain when you walk, numbness, prickling or tingling sensation? Have you tried all the pain treatments, the shots, the pills, yet you're still suffering with chronic pain caused by peripheral neuropathy, spinal stenosis, or a failed back surgery? Here is good news from the Laser Regen Pain Institute. There's now hope of reducing or even eliminating your pain through a new non-surgical, painless, laser-guided stem cell treatment that may reduce or eliminate your back, leg, and foot pain in minutes. If you're in pain, here's a special offer. Call now for a special $97 back, foot, and leg exam that includes an infrared laser joint inflammation scan, a Neuro 7 nerve test, and X-ray MRI review. This exam is normally $375, but if you call today, it's just $97. On your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say pain-free. For the special $97 exam, on your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say pain-free.
At Ralph's, shopping with pickup and delivery is the same as shopping in store. Same low prices, deals, and rewards on the same high-quality items. One small fix for groceries, one big win for busy families everywhere. Start your start today at Ralphs.com. Ralphs, fresh for everyone. It's the single product you like to be doing.
Stay big on your favorites with the buy 5 or more, save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your car. Ralphs, fresh for everyone. Golden Voice Quizzes, Powered, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, BBC, Ozzy Osbourne, Metallica, Tool. They'll have the big tickets for the entire Power Trip weekend. VIP camping at the Safari Tent Campground. All thanks to Golden Voice. Register now to buy tickets at powertrip.live. On sale Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Interview chance to win now. iHeartRadio.com/Power Trip. My daughter and I went to Target. You know, I think you could work here one day. You know where everything in the store is? Where is Sportingville? The Bell 27. Where's Sandals? Over here. Where's the food? Right back in the corner. Makeup right here. The Kim Conway Jr. Show. I mean, you know, everything in that store. Live 4 to 7 p.m. on AMI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Former President Trump surrendered to authorities today at the Manhattan courthouse for the head of his arraignment on criminal charges. Stemming from that hush money he paid to Stormy Daniels, wearing his signature duck high, returned, waved to crowds outside the building, headed inside to be fingerprinted process. This is one of 4 investigations that embroiled the former president, working their way through the justice system at various different levels. He arrived at court in an 8-car motorcade, took him from Trump Tower in Midtown through the main North-South Highway on the east side, past the United Nations posted on the social media platform, heading to Lower Manhattan, the courthouse. Seems so surreal. Wow, they're going to arrest me. Cannot believe this is happening in America. MAGA.
The inside of the Manhattan Criminal Court building, by the way, we mentioned you can't have cameras in the actual courtroom, but there are cameras, at least one camera, a couple cameras there in the hallway, and you can see what's going on. And there's a mix of court law enforcement, there's NYPD officers that are there, and then obviously the Secret Service is all over the place. And it's funny to tell the difference between the different agencies that are there. You got the guys in the white shirts, those are the court officers. The guys in the black and blue uniforms are NYPD, and they seem to be relatively jovial. Like, this is a strange day, so I don't even know what's going on, what's happening. And then you've got the Secret Service, whose expressions do not change regardless of the circumstances. And they, of course, have to go through and they are...
Well, all seems to be getting a kick out of this, honestly.
Well, it's pretty neat, I would imagine. It's one of those days where you can say,
You got a story to tell.
I was in the courthouse that day. For those of you who were following the pollen count for today, it's according to the National Weather Service, our pollen count is moderate. And everything should be generally okay in terms of your allergies.
Do you want to tell people about your new medication regimen? Because it's odd. Because you have always been somebody who does not like pills. Like if you have a headache, you don't take the Tylenol, you just hate it. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, you come out with it that you are on the pill.
Well,
and you were shocking.
I've suffered from allergies for years, but not bad allergies. They're just annoying. It's never anything that, I'm not knocked out. I don't get a sinus infection or anything. Sometimes I lose my voice. That's happened a couple of times where allergies will then drip down the back of my throat. It's nasty. Nobody needs to do it. But it's just an annoying. It's a minor inconvenience for me. But I thought this year I might try to get out in front of it. Withdraw. So I am now taking that. And about once a day, I am taking an allergy.
Which is it Claritin? Is it Zyrtec?
Yes.
Oh, Zyrtec. The big one. You go to Zyrtec as a brand name or generic? You don't go generic, no. It's the same stuff. It's the exact same stuff. Same dosage, same chemicals. It's just like $6 cheaper.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Zyrtec.
So you're going hardcore, like into this. Right? You're not even starting with generic. You're going like full.
And I don't know if it's me or if it's the style of pharmaceutical, but it doesn't affect me right away. It usually takes 2 days or 3 days for it to fully kick in and everything's fine. I mean, you can hear I'm a little congested today.
I heard a little trepidation yesterday when you came out with the fact that you are on the pills now. And then this morning when I started seeing them take their effect. And we were dropping papers and trying to get people not to look at you when you were acting out, which is classic addict behavior.
And then, of course,
There's nothing to see here, folks. Don't look at me.
There's the article that comes out that suggests there are other ways to manage allergies.
Yeah, you don't need drugs. You could do breathing methods. You could take a shower once in a while, get that pollen out of your hair.
Right now, all of Southern California is considered to be under medium high or high.
Don't roll around in the poppy. You know, I was driving home from the T10, right where the T10 meets the 2. And this was late last week, and I see this young woman pull over because there's this little patch, right as the lanes from the 2 merge onto the 210 going eastbound, there's this little patch, and there's just a sliver of grass, and there's poppies there. And this MSer pulls over, and because traffic's slowed enough, I see her pull over, stand in the small patch.
No.
I almost pulled right over. I went to the citizen's arrest. This has gotten too far. Like, it wasn't even like a beautiful knoll on the side of the bar.
Swamp Watch is going to be packed up stuff that's going on in Manhattan, not necessarily D.C. We'll give you the latest on what's going on in Manhattan Criminal Court Building, and depending on how all of this goes from this point forward, we are planning on bringing in Neil to talk about Safety Tuesday as we continue to wait for some sort of comment or action inside the courthouse.
There's some sort of crazy crowd protest, which I don't see materializing. This is an arraignment. It's as much ado about nothing. So we will be bringing you all this scheduled time.
There's too many people. There's too many. Full sandwich simulation.
Los Angeles, all time.
Everywhere on the radio app.
Waiting to be arraigned on Dr. Mark live in the unified 24-hour news and former President Trump has been arrested in New York and his facing charges related to hush money paid to a court actress before the 2016 election. And the first feature that will not be a typical court proceeding.
We're not going to see very much of him. He's going to enter through a side door under heavy guard, ride a special elevator up to the 15th floor that will deposit him just steps from the courthouse where he's going to appear before the judge.
Security has been tight in New York City. Mayor Adams called on Trump supporters to behave themselves.
This city is our home, not a playground for your misplaced anger.
Trump is expected to return to Florida after he is arraigned, and we are expecting to hear from DA Alvin Bragg. Former Assistant U.S. Attorney General Nathan Hoffman has announced his campaign to replace L.A. County DA George Gascon. The former candidate for California Attorney General says he wants to give L.A. a district attorney who fights for victims, not criminals. Hoffman says Gascon has taken a sledgehammer to justice, and the cry to get rid of him is loud and clear. Hoffman is now running with other challenges to unseat the current DA, like Deputy DA Donatani, who announced his bid last week. Hoffman said yesterday he's honored to run for DA in 2024 to build a stronger and safer LA County. Chris Adler, KFI News. The LA County Board of Supervisors has paused the proposal to release convicts in county jail. President of the LA County Police Chiefs Association, Scott Fairfield, says the board tried to push the motion through without careful consideration.
You didn't have domestic violence. Folks released back into the community, back where they would have the availability to get back towards those they may have victimized. All those things are very concerning.
In a letter to the board Saturday, the police chief told the board it was a conspicuous attempt for them to add the motion to the meeting's agenda while law enforcement had two major public events going on. Board Chair Jan Thompson said yesterday the proposal was halted because he needed input from law enforcement before proceeding. Some restaurants in Lake Arrowhead say they have been targeted by a dying gas public.
The Stone Creek Bistro barely reopened after the massive snowstorm and had been closed during the pandemic. Now, Justin Perry says a couple walked out on a $160 gas tax. The couple said while waiting for another glass of wine and dessert, they just stepped outside for a cigarette, but they never came back. I get it. Some people are still family restaurants. We're not a, corporation. We employ 14 people. Typically. To be a fan of yourself. The next day, employees at Papadino's say the same couple ordered drinks and appetizers in place of being swift and bailed out on the step. The bartender said it was the same couple seen on surveillance video from the Stone Creek Bistro. Both restaurants say it's most likely a couple from out of town because no local would ever do that to another local.
You can see the surveillance video on our Instagram at KFI AM 640. Police say 47 items, including a suicide note, have been found during the search of the school shooter in Nashville, Tennessee. Metropolitan Nashville Police say they found several journals, shotguns, cell phones, and laptops yesterday. They also found a school photo from the Covenant School. Police say Audrey Hill had been under a doctor's care for an emotional disorder and hid weapons from his family. They illegally bought 7 weapons from 5 stores, illegally used in the shooting last Monday to kill 6 people, including 2 kids. At least 10 students have been abducted by shooters in Nigeria. Students from the government secondary school were taken yesterday. Security officials say it's unclear where they were kidnapped. Student abductions in schools in northern Nigeria have become a growing concern since 2014 when Islamic extremists kidnapped more than 200 schoolgirls. The UN says more than 1,000 students have been kidnapped in 2020 and 2021. The KFI Financial Update is sponsored by Petroleum Buyers Easy Attorneys. Dow is down 221, S&P 500 down 23, NASDAQ down 57, and the average price for gallon of regular gas in California is $4.85. Don't wait. Maximize your compensation after an accident. Call Jacoby and Myers now. Just for you since 1972. Now find weather from KFI sunny and breezy. Highs low to mid 60s for Metro LA and the San Gabriel Valley. Upper 50s to mid 60s in the Campana Valley. Mid 40s to mid 50s Antelope Valley. 60s in Inland and County. Upper 50s to low 60s in the Inland Empire. Lighting up 57 in Orange and 61 in Buena Park. 51 in Agora Hills and 54 in Sherman Oaks. From the Southern California Toyota Dealer Traffic Center, let's go places. We're going to a crash on the 60 in Diamond Bar. From the 60 eastbound, right before the Phillips Ranch Road, that Lucky is blocking the 290 lane. Before the city stop coming away from Diamond Bar Boulevard. Montclair, Kennedy Transport Central Avenue has some debris in the lane. Ontario, Kennedy Sun Haven Avenue, head stall is still in the middle lane. It's all about Blue Bridge, it's slow as you're coming up on it. Heading to Torrance 405 northbound right at Central Boulevard, got a red clearing to the right shoulder, but you'll be on and off the brake from the 110. Downtown LA, 10 West End Avenue, that's a brand new three-car crash. This is blocking the right lane, and then once you're past it, 10 West End just past the 110. Well, looks like you got another crash here. They're trying to get this over to the right shoulder, and some pieces of wood are in the left lane. Hey, I find the sky helps get you there faster. I'm getting on in.
How much do you think your home is worth this year? Do you think it's going to be worth the same next year? If you're thinking about borrowing on your home equity, your odds of getting more out of your home is probably higher now than it will be next year. I certainly believe that. Some experts predict that property values might decline over the next few years, making it more challenging for borrowers to tap into that home equity. If you need $75,000 or more, HMS Capital can help you borrow the money you need for the equity you built. So whether you want to consolidate debt, make home improvements, or whatever your situation may be, HMS Capital may have the best solution to help you. No appraisal, credit report fees to apply. I've done 2 mortgages with HMS Capital. Clearly, I'm a fan. I believe they are simply the best at what they do. Call 833-255-5698. 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com.
For adults with moderate to severe psoriasis, for candidates for systemic or phototherapy, Navus Skyrizi, written Zimrat, a prescription only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clearance to hit 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Don't need to be allergic to allergic, serious allergic reactions, and an increased risk of infection or lower ability to fight unmet threats. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Or your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweat, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine. With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clear skin. Ask your doctor about the number1.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Termite problems? Search PacificCoastTermites.com or call 800-PACIFIC. More stimulating talk.
And I have radio stations.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app on this Tuesday, April 4th. Former President Trump is under arrest, awaiting arraignment, and will come right into Swamp Walk.
The government doesn't work.
Man, they just like a reality TV. Swamp Walk was a bad dude. Always everywhere watching that. All too clearly built on a swamp. Anyway, that's a bunch of Milwaukee. Yeah, there's former President Trump pumping his fist in the air, waving before leaving Trump Tower shortly after 1 p.m. local time here in Manhattan. Headed to the courthouse, about 4 miles away. His attorneys arranged for his surrender. He is going to be booked at the courthouse, not at a police precinct, as most of defendants in New York are. They're going to create a record of his name, age, birthday, height, weight, take the fingerprints, possibly a photo.
He is expected to plead not guilty to criminal charges today as he hears the charges levied against him.
We were watching static camera from within the hallway there at the criminal court building, crawling with law enforcement, Secret Service that are there to help the court president with the original, the process thing that got this done. You've got fingerprinting, there's discussion about whether or not a mugshot would actually be taken if it was needed, and then what's going to happen with the president when he sets foot inside a courtroom and what actually takes place. The plan is then after the arraignment today, for him to go back to Mar-a-Lago, as we mentioned earlier, he's expected to make a statement at about 5:15 our time, which will be able to hear live during the Conway show. 12:30 our time is when the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, is expected to hold a news conference.
Right now, outside that courthouse, there are Trump supporters and Trump haters. And the New York Police Department are getting credit right now for keeping people separated based on their motivations in support of Trump or in support of the indictment. Some of the big names that turned up, Marjorie Taylor Greene briefly rallied some supporters outside that courthouse. George Santos, you will not go away, has also joined the crowd of people gathering outside the courthouse. He's the one who has lied his way into his seat there in New York, facing multiple investigations into lies he told while running for office. If I was Trump, I'd say, you know what, sit this one out, George.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, at one point, said Trump is joining some of the most incredible people in history being arrested today. Nelson Mandela was arrested, third time in prison.
This was like his attorney yesterday that compared him to Tupac and Biggie.
Jesus was arrested and murdered. So, because this administration is a failure, they have nothing to campaign on, so they decided to arrest President Trump, who is innocent on the word of a porn star and a felon. This is such a failure, and this will not stand.
So I was reading this article in Politico today about Democrats because it seems like Democrats have been giddy about this. And now there seems to be a little bit of trepidation in the Democratic Party because they say they've seen this story before. Those were the words of a representative out of California, Ro Khanna, who said that the last time people were rooting for Donald Trump, Democrats, he ended up being president. That in 2016, he was going to be the perfect opponent for Hillary, right? Too crude, way too outrageous to win a general election. A guy who was caught on tape, on video, and there's no way he was going to win the election, and he rode right into the White House. And now they're worried, because they like to see that he's being held accountable for something, and they like to see him being treated like a criminal, but to what end? The long game for Democrats today could be disastrous for them down the line.
Well, and it seems like they haven't ever learned from that, because he's been impeached twice, right, and still is running for president. He's been indicted and now arrested, and he's leading in the polls, at least among Republicans.
He's getting traction in the polls in this whole thing.
He's making money hand over fist every time they throw something like this at him. So they're the ones who are doing something that appears to hit the definition of insanity. They're doing the same thing over and over again, and the results are always the same. And now been able to withstand all of these slings and arrows.
I think that there is a faction of Republicans where this is going to motivate them even more to support Trump. The faction of Republicans who hate the elite Democrats who are going to use the laws and, progressive DA offices to persecute Republicans. I almost think this would have played out better.
The governor should be still facing January 6th. He's got the document. Those are much stronger cases. Whether or not those are much more powerful cases than this. The interesting thing that we're going to find out, hopefully within the next few minutes, would be what crime Alvin Bragg thinks Donald Trump was covering up. Remember, the thing that he's doing, the thing that is the main charge, the falsification of business records, is being prosecuted or can be prosecuted as a misdemeanor, but you can bump it up to a Class C felony if that conduct, the falsification of the business records, was intended to conceal another underlying crime. And according to this, I mean, as of right now, because we're not seeing a sealed indictment, we don't know what that underlying crime is supposed to be. The evidence for it that escalated this thing to a felony is not clear. It won't be until we get this unsealed indictment. But obviously, it's relating to the alleged hush money payments that were funneled through Michael Cohen to Stormy Daniels, which in and of itself are not illegal. You can pay anybody money for something like that that's not illegal. The illegal part about it, at least the misdemeanor, was falsifying business records to say that that was a legal fee. And then, if it was some other crime that he was covering up, whether it's an election crime, business, whatever it is, we'll find out when they unseal the indictment.
A very tenuous case. If you are having your lawyer handle something of a personal matter and you're using your personal money for it, you slide that money over there. That's going to be tough to prove that rises to the felony degree. Okay, we'll stay on top of this as we continue. Again, history being made with the former president arrested awaiting arraignment in Manhattan today.
Jerry Sanders will continue. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
A former math teacher inside of a middle school in San Bernardino has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for sharing child porn online. The man was sentenced yesterday up to $9,000 and will be on supervised release for 20 years. He was arrested in 2020. The United States Central Command says a drone strike in Syria has killed a senior member of ISIS. This member was in charge of planning attacks in Europe. An avalanche in northeastern India has killed at least 7 people. Rescuers are searching for at least 30 others. The avalanche today swept away a group of tourists in the Himalayas. 22 survivors were pulled from snow. We're going to a crash on the 91 in Toledo. Westbound right at Pioneer Boulevard. It is clearing to the left. Killed over east out and delayed from Carmenita. And on the flip side, 91 east after 605, got a brand new crash blocking the left lane. Downtown LA 10 westbound Alameda 3-car crash blocking the right lane. In Torrance, 405 northbound, right at Springfield Boulevard. Got early wreck. Cleared over to the shoulder. And a diamond bar. The city found before Phillips Ranch Road. That accident is still blocking that far right lane. KFI your side, help get you there faster. I'm getting on in.
This report is sponsored by BlindShirt.com. Hi, I'm Kyle at BlindShirt.com. Since 2010, BlindShirt has sold millions of custom blind shades and sweaters to satisfied customers across the country. With 20,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. BlindShirt.com helps identify SoCal's future needs. Visit connectsocal.org and learn how you can contribute to the Southern California Association of Government Connect SoCal 2024, our region's long-range visioning plan. This week's marketer report, we learn about the value of local influencers in uncertain times. From Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
The economy is tough for everyone, and taking a step back and understanding the pain that your customers are currently going through because of the tough environment is really important. We have 19,000 agents across the country, and they understand what's going on in those very unique communities. iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that it's local, connected, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
It's the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia, gives marketers access to all. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company. iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com. Hey, it's Team Sharp. If you're planning on going solar, listen up. The state has changed the way new solar systems get reimbursed for the power they produce. And the change is not in your favor. Fortunately, there's a grandfathering period to lock in the current rate, but time is running out. The deadline is April 14th. So how do you do that? You start by calling Sunlux. Even if you're not ready to install the system, it's okay. Sunlux will help you get your solar documents filed. There is no time to wait. Go to sunlux.com. Sunlux.com. CSLB 1008. Losing air conditioning on a hot summer day can be a sweaty old nightmare. No one wants that, Zach. Help your air conditioner last longer and reduce breakdowns with a rejuvenation.
Well, it's critical adjustment so you'll stay cool, use less energy, and increase the life of your system.
We'll clean the outdoor coils the right way, not the easy way.
Rejuvenation, just $129.
Skilled air conditioning and plumbing. ReleaseCTO.com. We'll keep it cool, but it's already set. License number 1047-781.
To accept life in the big city as car break-ins is
crazy or what? They're twice in the big city. They're not. Like, that's the same thing with the homeless. Oh, yeah, guys sitting up in the park. They're twice in the big city. You can write off all of this stuff to that. Johnny, most people think that's nuts. They think you are a crazy person. Live 1 to 4 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Jerry and Shannon, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You know, I was thinking about this during the break about how former President Trump likes everything around him to be big and good turnout and circus-like and teasing things and creating anticipation. It goes back to his reality show days, right, with The Apprentice, and how they are playing right into his hands. You know, he announced that he was going to run for re-election, and everyone was quiet, and no one was talking about him. And there were not a lot of energetic rallies, right? There was that one rally he held right after he announced where people reported that they were told they couldn't leave. They went on, it rambled for too long, it was kind of all over the place. And then it just kind of died down, all the fervor, and DeSantis starts picking up, and that ball starts rolling. And then all of a sudden this arraignment talk starts with this DA, Alvin Bragg, and all of a sudden Donald Trump is on the tip of everyone's tongue again, and here he has exactly what he would have orchestrated. People lined up throughout the streets of Manhattan cheering for him. Everybody in the media has their eyes on this. It's exactly what he loves.
It's just, it's comical to think about. If he, like you said, if he were the one to write this script, this is exactly the way it would play. Exactly the way. Now, the one thing I would say is that it's hard to get a great visual on just how large the crowds are outside the courthouse itself. We saw the earlier protest. We went to Martin Taylor Green was there and George Santos was there. That wasn't quite as big as anybody was expecting. The people that have showed up outside the courthouse are being kept apart, so it's not going to get violent or anything, although there was some confrontation earlier today. But it's weirdly, at this point, they're already late, but I heard one of the ABC news anchors suggest that if they started on time, that would be proof that they treat Donald Trump like an unusual suspect.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to start late, which we know. We need to get our eyes on that 34-count indictment. We need to see what's in it and what it is that Alvin Bragg is claiming that Donald Trump is accused of doing, and why it should be tried as a felony and not just a misdemeanor. So, again, we'll keep our eyes on all of that stuff as it goes on there in the criminal court, but at this point, he's still being processed, has not yet actually made its way into the courtroom. A story just outside of Houston, in Baltimore specifically, a former political aide in Maryland, wanted on corruption charges, was shot and killed, apparently by FBI agents yesterday. He died at a hospital after this manhunt that was launched when he failed to appear for trial. The FBI has confirmed that Roy McGrath died. Now, I'm not clear if he shot himself or if came during his gunfire, maybe agents like this guy.
It doesn't look like much of a threat.
No.
He's a very slight person. He failed to appear for the start of his criminal trial on multiple charges of wire fraud, embezzlement, and document falsification. Now, I'm wondering if he offed himself because of money then that would go to his family if he had not been a convicted criminal.
If you're a reporter,
Right.
either way. I mean, suicide, they're not going to pay out usually. If the police had killed him, I suppose that they could. According to an email, they said that McGrath was wounded during an agent-involved shooting at about 6:30 Knoxville, Tennessee time in a commercial area in the southwestern outskirts of that city.
It's weird. He's been indicted on accusations that he fraudulently obtained a Chevron Clinton environmental service. That does not make me go on the run. right?
Well, no,
Very low level.
about $230,000 is what they said. That was equal to 1 year salary that he was making when he was head of the Maryland Environmental Service, but lied about it by telling the agency both that the governor had approved it. He was also accused of fraud and embezzlement, connected to about $170,000 in expenses that the state was paying for that he should have been on the hook for. So he resigned 11 weeks into the job as chief of staff for then Governor Larry Hogan back in 2020 after all of these things became public. He was convicted. He was looking at about 20 years maximum for each of the 4 counts of wire fraud, plus a maximum of 10 years. Is that we've seen, whether it's this case or other federal cases like this, the likelihood of being sentenced to a maximum, a federal maximum, is pretty low, especially if it's going to be your first offense, which you guys understand this was. So, this brings end to a very rarely hear very high level political movers like that. In this case, a former chief of staff for a governor who ends up suicide by cop.
It seems like an odd outcome for stealing $200,000. Yeah. And that's it.
There is a couple of electors. One of them I mentioned politically that City Council District 6 here in LA is choosing a replacement for Nori Martinez. There are 7 people running. 7. Yes. It's not. If no one gets 50%, Stockton will move on to a runoff in June. Here's the other one. Chicago voters are set to replace Lori Lightfoot. So they had 2 candidates. Neither one of them got 50% of the vote earlier in March. So they are voting today between Paul Valla, former public schools executive, runs on a more conservative platform, crackdown on crime, more charter schools. His opponent, a county commissioner, union organizer named Brandon Johnson, has campaigned that he wants to expand programs, spend more on neighborhood schools, add new taxes, etc. It's funny because they're both Democrats. It's Chicago, of course. It's like LA, in that you have to hunt if you're going to find somebody who would even agree to be labeled a Republican or even a conservative. But they had one of the campaign ads against Paul Valla was that the Chicago Republican Party endorsed him, which the Chicago Republican Party came out and said there's no way that that's true. He's full of that. So,
all right. Well, the latest in Manhattan, the district attorney, Al Bragg, has entered courtroom where former President Trump is scheduled for a range stemming from that hush money during the 2016 campaign. Trump, they say, not yet been seen on the 15th floor where the hearing is supposed to take place. Before wearing that navy blue suit and bright red tie, he entered the courthouse about a couple hours ago now to surrender on the charges and be processed before the hearing. So we will stay on top of this, let you know about the charges that have since been unsealed when we hear about them. And obviously probably going to be a not guilty plea there, and then the president is expected to make his way back down to Florida to Mar-a-Lago to deliver remarks this evening.
The lawsuit said about the judge in this case as well. The judge presiding over this arraignment, Juan Merton, already has experience with a criminal case involving Trump, at least the Trump organization. Late last year, he was the one who oversaw the tax fraud trial that lasted about 5 weeks. As we saw, obviously Donald Trump knows this guy because he knows that he presided over the case. This morning, in all caps, he has already lashed out at the judge, calling him calling him
a disaster.
Witch hunt, that's what it was, yes, and a disaster. Describes him also as unfair disaster, highly partisan, and that the family of the judge is a well-known Trump hater. So all of this stuff is going on in what is becoming a pretty historic day. Although we haven't seen outside of the raised fist, there hasn't been a whole lot of images of what we're looking for in there.
So do you understand there were some photographers that were going to be able to take still photographs inside the courtroom before proceedings? They have very strict rules in New York when they do not have TV cameras in the courtroom. They do allow some pictures taken in the hallways as well. So that's what you can expect. Coming up next, we'll dig into some food news, of course, stay on top of all the developments out of Manhattan as well.
Serious Down in Wilson City, Devil Market Live, and the KFI 24-hour news.
And then from Orange County has been sent 26 years to life in prison for killing his stepmother over 2 accidents from home in Lake Forest. The woman was killed in 2013. Prosecutors say the guy was living with his dad and stepmom because his real mom had kicked him out. His father and stepmom planned to downsize and move on, so they suggested that the man move out. To arrest him and with his stepmom. A large tree has fallen onto an apartment building near Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. This woman lives there and says the tree barely missed going through the roof. And that was very, very scary to know that someone, thank God, is being held up by, that other tree. Strong winds yesterday also knocked down trees in San Gabriel and Temple City. One fell on a house. Power lines were also down. So, 50 people can vote in a special election to fill the 6th district city council seat that became vacant when former council president Marie Martinez resigned. There are 7 candidates, and someone needs to get a majority of votes. Otherwise, it will go to a runoff between the top 2. Voting centers closed at 8 tonight. And a former chief of staff of Maryland's former governor has been shot and killed in a confrontation with the FBI. The man's lawyer says the search started and he failed to show up for trial on corruption charges last month. The lawyer says it's not immediately clear if the man shot himself or was shot by agents. The man was indicted in 2021 on accusations he secured a severance payment equal to a year's salary by falsely saying the governor approved it. He resigned just 11 weeks to get a job in 2020. We're going to go back to the 60s next.
Let's say get into an accident. Who are you going to call? Blue James?
Blue James, yeah, damn right.
What about a car accident, motorcycle?
Blue James.
Listen, let the results speak for themselves. So the settlement one for injured victims by the attorney at Blue James.
$29 million one for a client hurt in a multiple vehicle accident.
$11 million one for a client hurt in a couple accident.
$1 million for a client hurt in a motorcycle accident.
Blue James wins for clients hurt in these types of cases 98% of the time.
They settle more money in 1 year than most clients settle in their lifetime.
If you are hurt in an accident and results matter to you, all the attorneys at Blue James
pay nothing until they win. They can't guarantee the outcome of any case, but it's important you have an experienced and successful law firm on your side.
To get a free consultation, 800-500-5200. That's 800-500-5200 or go to BlueJames.com.
Southline weather from KFI sunny and breezy. Highs low to mid-60s for Metro LA and San Gabriel Valley. Upper 50s to mid-60s in San Fernando Valley. Mid-40s to mid-50s Antelope Valley. 60s in Inland Orange County. Upper 50s to low 60s in the Inland Empire. Right now 58 in Cypress and 56 in Brea. Back we go to the 60s in Diamond Bar. From the 60 eastbound right before you get to Phillips Branch, where we have 3 cup crash. The 2 right lanes were blocked. And it looks like they just now got everything over to the right shoulder. All lanes are open. You're still going to see some flowing from the 57. Ontario, 10 Eastside Haven Avenue. Got a report that stalled big rig in the middle lane. Temescal Valley, 15 northbound to go Temescal Canyon Road. That's pretty good crash. It's only a center divider, but you've got flowing from England Truck Trail. 89 9 westbound before Pioneer Boulevard. That left clear into the right shoulder. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jim Harmon. At Southern California Edison, they're installing insulated power lines and using the latest technology to help keep our communities safe from wildfire. Learn more at stc.com/mitigation. U.S. Bank is ranked #1 in customer satisfaction with retail banking in California by J.D. Power. Since California has home to most award shows, we prepare the thank you speech. Californians everywhere, we've been proud to help and plan, budget, and save smarter. Our goal tracking and budgeting tools would have no place to shine if it weren't for you, and we can't thank you enough for that. And thank you to our real-life humans who go above and beyond for our customers every day. Bravo, you look good. Bravo. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Member FDIC.
Unfiltered, chlorinated tap water that doesn't cut it. It's obviously safe, but then again, it's tap water. A light source system gives you filtered and delicious water straight from every tap. It filters out chlorine, other contaminants, and retains the healthy minerals. And the light source system is maintenance-free. No filters to change, no salt, no monthly servicing, ever. They install it, you forget it. Just enjoy the water. You're bathing, you're cooking, you're washing dishes, washing your clothes, you're obviously drinking what is effectively bottled water. And boy, what a cup of coffee it is. I've had a light source system for over 10 years, and now you can own a light source system for as low as $75 per month on approval of credit. This offer ends April 30th, so call 800-803-2696. 800-803-2696. Visit lightsourcewater.com. Lightsourcewater.com. Taste and feel the difference. Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the 8th bedroom. It's another eventful night for us. The curious on seniors and flailing everywhere, struggling with the CPAP. Just like Michelle is enters a fiddle string trying to contain her rage. Michelle's rolling Steve over. There he goes. The mask is off. Oh my Lord. Michelle throws her elbows. Now it's up. And she's moving for the count, taking her place as the 100-pound lamb. That dog crap here. With all this struggle, you should get inspired. Absolutely, sir. Inspire the sleep apnea treatment to give you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. And sleep Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hope. Just learn more at inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to sleep right from the interview and start your safety information at inspiresleep.com. Call Service Champions for an $88 precision heater tune-up or visit servicechampions.com. News updates, Candleland, dog videos, we've got them all. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Tom Hanks and Captain Phillips as he was to that courtroom right outside those doors there, surrounded by his attorneys, Secret Service. We saw the 4 or 5 photographers ushered in shortly after, just moments after, where here they have maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute to take pictures of Trump in the courtroom before the proceedings begin. Based on the New York Times blog I was watching, apparently there were reporters in that hallway. Somebody shouted a couple of questions at him before he turned into the courtroom. All right, so keep an eye on this. We'll be right back to it in a second, but we have a chance for you to win $1,000. Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this one point keywords on our website, GRAND. That's GRAND, GRAND. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash. Powered by Big Games Accident Attorney. If you're an accident, winning is everything. Call the winning attorneys at Big Games. 800-500-5200. That's 800-500-5200 or sweetgames.com. And that keyword goes on the website, KFIAM640.com/cash. Winners are going to be notified via email, but you have another chance to win $1,000. 2 hours from now, in fact, every other hour, starting from 7 in the morning all the way through 5:40. So the former president arrived at this courthouse about 70 minutes ago. We believe that he was ushered up into the DA's office. He was processed. He was fingerprinted. We don't know if he had a picture taken. We're not really sure what other information that there's either double doors on the 15th floor where he followed into that courtroom. The photographers ushered in briefly before the arraignment began. There will be no TV cameras inside that courtroom. New York law has strict regulations when it comes to not allowing TV cameras in the courtroom. No TV cameras, no photographs during the actual arraignment. They've already made their way back out. They were only in there for, before they were ushered back out. And reporters who are inside the courtroom are not somebody outside to explain what's going on. So we won't get our first reports about what the courtroom sounds like, what it looks like, until those reporters come out. We saw 3 images of the former president today. One is he pumped fists in the air and waved before leaving Trump Tower. And then when he arrived at the courthouse, he kind of waved to the songs of those people for and anything like this in years. It's almost reminiscent of Michael Jack Courthouse downtown CCB extended for 4 blocks. Yeah, and like he's doing protests out of the courthouse and outside there's a park that's just not guilty-free at his arraignment. You don't have to, but they probably will do that post-haste. These 30-plus charges that we anticipate. And there's the first picture right there. Yeah, that picture is just he's sitting next to Joe Tacopino, one of the guys that did those charges. The prosecutors will then have to turn over all the evidence to defense attorneys. There will be several different court proceedings with the lawyers involved. And they say this could go on for a year, but a jury may not get this case. President
in Trump House with the law on different levels that are still being investigated.
Here, we mentioned the money-raising aspect, the fundraising aspect. At least $47 in the hallway, and there have been at times dozens of law enforcement officers from different agencies standing alongside both walls. At one point, just before the president came in, the opposite end of the hallway through some blackened glass doors perpendicular to the hallway. So there's at least two metal barriers between whatever reporters there exist at the end of the hallway and the president once he comes out of the courtroom once again. So I don't know if that's intended to...
The court officers, Secret Service people, they all seem to just be thinking, kind of getting a kick out of it. The people that were stationed there outside those double doors and walked through the courthouse on the 15th floor, that were just kind of waiting, sitting around, not standing around and waiting, I guess they could say, kind of just got a kick out of it. I mean, but you've got to imagine this is a job that usually people don't have cameras pointed in your face, and you don't have the national or global attention that you normally would have. I'm surprised how quickly they were able to get that picture.
To do with Donald Trump, one of the issues before the court case, and
there'll be no smiles.
Exactly, Eric.
That's the victim. That's the victimhood right there on display.
If you look like I make you look like a victim.
All right. Coming up next, we will stay on top of all the developments out of Manhattan.
Terry and Shannon will continue. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
And as you heard Gary and Shannon just saying, former President Trump's arraignment in Manhattan is under charges related to hush money paid to a foreign actress in 2016. Former Assistant U.S. Attorney General Nathan Hoffman is running to be LA County's next DA. Hoffman was a candidate for California Attorney General but lost to AG Rob Bonta in November. A rocket company founded by British billionaire Richard Branson has filed for bankruptcy in the U.S. Virgin Orbit, which is based in California, says it files for Chapter 11 so the company can still function while it reorganizes its debt. Southland weather from KFI sending in breezy, high mid-40s to mid-60s. This report brought to you by JimmyTheBin.com. From the Southern three-car workways, car prices, totally understand. Find a new or pre-owned car of your dreams at any time on any device in just a few clicks. And at a great price by downloading the Roto app or check out Roto.com.
The PTSA letter, Global Chief Marketing Officer, direct-to-consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on the difficult task of building and retaining consumer trust. Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the owner and talent. The best thing for us to do is to build a relationship with our consumers. And if those are successful, not the most successful business, if you've been told that you need to be replacement, here is good news from Laser Regen Pain Institute. There's now hope of reducing or eliminating your pain with a new non-surgical treatment may reduce or eliminate your knee pain in minutes and is used in treating NFL alumni players with their knee injuries. If you have knee pain, this is special offer. Call now and receive a special $97 But if you call today, it's just $97. Grab your cell phone and dial pound 250 and say, knee pain. Don't delay. These $97 exams are limited. On your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say, knee pain. I've been a small business person my entire adult life, and over the years, several HR issues I got nailed. I could never afford an HR person. But there's an answer, Bambi.com. And with Bambi, you get an HR person starting at just $99 per month. I thought this was too good to be true. This is real. Bambi helps you deal with your HR problems, like writing HR policies, sexual harassment training, hostile work environments, terminations. That was my problem. People complaining about other employees, all putting you and your business at risk. With Bambi, you get access to your own dedicated HR manager available by phone, email, real-time chat. Go to Bambi.com, type in KFI under the radio drop-down when you sign up. Bambi.com, that's KFI under the radio drop-down. I want the credit, please. Spelled BAM, B-B-E, that's BAM at any time on the iHeartRadio app. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app as well. As we at the courthouse right now outside, in the hallway, I should say, outside the courtroom, for what has become an historic day. Former President Trump arraigned on charges officially. The people of the state of New York against Donald J. Trump, indictment number 715 report 3 deaths, 2 injuries, officially unsealed now in court, and we're going to start getting some of the information. Also, credit Seth Winnick from the Associated Press for that first picture from inside the courtroom.
Reports say there was a delay because Trump's defense team was given a copy of the indictment for review after he got arrested and processed. So that's why it was 70 minutes from the time he got there to the time when he walked into the courtroom.
I mentioned earlier, by the way, the doors at the end of the hallway from the camera stuff that we have outside the conference or outside the courtroom, and that the president walked in through these blacked out glass doors. That's one of the security precautions apparently that they're taking today, that they don't usually do the glass with black plastic or black paper or something like that. I represent a whole series of illegal cases that he talked of on behalf of the former president's behalf. And then also Boris Epstein, a longtime advisor who has taken a lead role in the former president's legal strategy as this plays out here in court.
I think when he walked into those double doors, making his way to his left there to walk into the courtroom, there were 2 officers that came out first, and then the former president. And the first officer holds the door for the second officer, and the second officer does not hold the door for Trump.
I noticed he does not hold doors for himself very often.
Right.
They kind of bumped him on the arm at this point, and he didn't seem very happy with it.
But he had a sourpuss on his face that is perfectly in line with his nerve.
For the state Supreme Court that just won their time. There was a question about how many. I think it was Michael Isikoff writing for Yahoo News overnight that said it was in fact 34 counts. Now the former president is officially charged with 30 spells out in terms of
over the persecution of the former president, saying we are Trump, and they want to find out what the White House thinks about it. He said, I think the American people should feel reassured that when there is an ongoing case like this one, we're just not commenting. He said, I love how you guys are asking me this in different ways. You guys are clever.
Very smart. I don't think that there was friends to be made in that room. 34 counts, falsifying business records in the first degree. That's those are the charges that were read against former president that he pleaded not guilty. 34 felony counts, falsifying business records in the first degree. He's also been seeing protesters outside. There is a park not too far away, across the street basically, where some of the protesters have been held, and some of them this morning. But at this point, not a lot of kerfuffle, and to use Mayor Eric Adams' words, not a lot of rabble-rousers to the degree that maybe he was expecting.
He was not guilty to those 34 counts. As he assumed we're told would be the case. Doesn't have to make a plea today, but wanted to right away.
So from this point, right, we're going to get some information about the judge deciding what happens now. Obviously, there will be a typical arraignment hearing where the judge sets the date of the next court hearing, explains what that hearing will be about, says if you have any other things that were discussed before that, you can contact me. Here's my social.
He's going to be late to his prepared remarks. He's not going to make it there by 5:15.
Sure.
From here, did it just get to be 30 degrees? No.
So is the temperature fluctuation?
I guess.
Okay. With all of that stuff is going to be pretty minor. There's not a lot of. First of all, how can you possibly be a flight risk? A flight risk means that you go and disappear somewhere. That guy can't go and disappear anywhere.
Setting fires and none of that.
He's going to be really so we're cognizant, and then he's going to head on back, like we said, to the airport. He's down to Mar-a-Lago. The expectation, at least at this point, is still that Alvin Bragg, the district attorney, would hold a news conference at 12:30. In progress.
Scores are expected this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow morning. The United States Central Command says a drone strike in Syria has killed a senior member of ISIS, because the member was in charge of planning attacks in Europe. The man killed yesterday was identified as Khalid Eid Ahmad al-Jabori. Military command's death will temporarily disrupt the organization attack. No civilians were killed or hurt in that strike. The KFI Financial Update is sponsored by Jacoby Myers.
Finance to Dell Business Credit. Call the Dell Technology Supply Store at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. Finding a great candidate for hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not if ZipRecruiter.
That would not be looked upon kindly by the judge. Making any sort of statement. If you wanted to hold your rally at Mar-a-Lago and you were worried about any gag order that judge could put in America outside, that is got detractors, you've got dueling protests, NYPD is doing all kind of yoke, and who knows? Maybe he said something as he will go. This is a man who spent his entire life in litigation. He is no stranger to legal proceedings. He's no stranger to lawyers. He's got today, and they're clearly taking the floor to do so. There's probably also some procedural matters, some paperwork matters that have to happen. But this could be over pretty quickly.
You mentioned the White House had made a comment regarding whether or not President Biden is going to make some comments on this, or even if he's watching it. It said that obviously if you catch the news, but the Pierre, the media outlets that are there, the indictment returned has been unsealed. President Trump pleaded not guilty to 34 criminal charges against him in the Manhattan criminal court today. The investigation stems from the statement. He is Cindy Haberman with the New York Times points out that raises some eyebrows because correlation. Apparently in connection with the investigation on the advisor in this case also.
As this arrangement continues in lower Manhattan, this returns normal by all reports. There were few TV reporters, hardly any protesters outside the doors where Trump had emerged earlier in the day, and he raised his fist there into the sky. Some people walked by recently, in recent moments, snapping. The presidential lawsuit challenging a new state law that would ban abortion from some states. The lawsuit filed yesterday would limit access to those seeking abortion, even though they do remain legal in Utah of pregnancy. We're going to a class on the 101 in Studio City. The 101 southbound Rabbi Violent Avenue is an overturned crash. It is in the middle lane, and you're getting the break from Van Nuys Boulevard. Still prevalent in Monty on the 10 eastbound before Geary Avenue. That right still has for 3 right lanes blocked to stop from San Diego Avenue. Anaheim Hills, 91 eastbound, right at the 241. Running a crash here in the state of right of the fast track lane. And in Roselle, Media, 605 south, that is 405. Talk about this crash. It's Roller Avenue. It looks like it's in the second lane from your left on that transition from the 405 south, but it also knocked down a pole there, so that's going to be there a while. KFI is trying to help get you there faster. I'm Jane Harmon. This report is sponsored by Southern California Edison. Stay alert, stay safe. At Southern California, learn more at ste.com/mitigation.
Marketers report. Raja Manar, Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of MasterCard, talks about measurement. Basically, Sonic and Sonic branding and Sonic illustrating across offering with iHeart across multiple platforms, both for brand and as well as their brand continues to be responded to the future. As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, conversations, trusted influencers, insights, and data needed to grow. Go to iHeartResults.com for more. The tech is good, the experience is smooth, and the reviews online are wonderful. At ViralRabbi.com. They'll call us and that's the best part about it for nothing. The value price decline over the next few years, making it more challenging for borrowers to tap into that home equity. If you need $75,000 or more, HMS Capital can help you borrow the money you need with the equity you built. Whether you want to consolidate debt, make home improvements, whatever your situation may